Maybe not as big a decision as having a child, but deciding to jump into this hobby field requires time and money. Similar to having a child, you learn as you go in this hobby field. You don't have to know anything to start, but it's helpful and will give you a head start if you have these few skills. The first is basic computer skills. You don't have to know how to code, but being able to open your settings menu and knowing how to create a folder and drag files into that folder will give you a good head start. The second is knowing how to use a drill. If you've never used a drill before, you can get some scrap 2x4 and just practice with the drill, learning to keep it straight. The third is just the ability to search for information. There's going to be things you want to do on your show that you should know how to use Google and be able to kind of filter through the results to get the answer that you need. The last skill is basic troubleshooting methods, and this could be reaching out to a Facebook group or doing some more research of why this could be happening. How much of a time commitment is this going to be? I've broken down a few sections of building a light show, and I need you to remember that these are only estimations. Everyone learns at a different pace. The first section would be designing it. This could take anywhere between 2 and 6 weeks to finish. The next step would be purchasing, ordering everything that you need. This could be a month of just research and preparing your purchase order, and then another month on the water. The next step would be figuring it all out, sitting in your living room and plugging everything in just to figure out how it works. Give yourself a month just to tinker. The next step would be to build it. Building it can vary greatly, but give yourself about a month to put all of the lights into the props, to cut your edging for your house, and just get everything ready to install on your house. And then for installing on your house, give yourself 3 solid weekends at the absolute minimum your first year setting up. The only advice I can give you if you're starting into this hobby field, the earlier you can start, the better. Life always gets in the way of every single hobby. The cost is a little bit of a different story. If you're looking for a cheap hobby to get into, this is not the right one. While you can get into this hobby field for as little as $1,000, you can just as easily, the next year, add $20,000 worth of upgrades. I have 2 recommendations for anybody that wants to get started in this hobby field. The first is to start small, invest $1,000, $2,000, and just learn the ropes. And then the next year, expand to your heart's content. The other recommendation would be to set about $6,000 aside and about 6 months before November just to learn everything and get everything built. Now that you know what this hobby's all about, it's time to get your feet wet. In the next section, we'll go over how to design a custom layout on a picture of your house using X-Lights.